I was thinking as I was listening to you and watching you, you dance when you speak. I don't know if you're aware of that, but you're enwrapped in what's going on, and it causes me to be enwrapped in what you're doing. And so I was wondering, do you, as you study, as you write, as you speak, is it almost a mystical, prayerful experience for you sometimes?
Yeah, I don't know that I would use those words, but the answer is yes. I mean, I'm a German Calvinist. I'm not mystical. But I know what you mean, and yeah.
I don't know what I mean,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, it is. It is kind of. It's kind of out beyond myself. What I discovered not so long ago, I write everything longhand first, and I write very fast. And what I've discovered that when I'm writing, I didn't know I was doing it. I mouth the words. I'm saying it while I'm writing it, and I can hear whether it's the right word, or most of the time, not always. So, I am often surprised, as are you, when you prepare sermons. What you finally get down is not what you had in mind at all when you sat down to do it, and you are led somewhere, and I think it happens. About being enwrapped, long time ago, I drove 100 miles in an ice storm to speak at a college chapel, and because there was a dance the same time that chapel was, there were 7 people in chapel after 100 miles on ice. And there was a kid in the balcony who was taking notes on what I said. So I really... So after the service, if that's what it was, he said, "Oh yeah, it was a speech assignment. I had to analyze a speech." I said, "Well, send me your assessment." Son of a gun sent it to me and gave me a B-, because he said there are too many gestures. So, but the answer is without meaning more than I mean, it is kind of an occupied exercise for me most of the time.
With this, going back to Ricoeur on imagination, how that begins to fire you, and how imagination takes such a significant role in your work. I don't remember what book this came from, but the quote was, you say at one point, the prophetic imagination these days needs to be more cunning and more nuanced and perhaps more ironic. Can you tell us a favorite, whether something you've experienced or something that kind of fires your own imagination for a creative, faithful, prophetic, ironic speech act or act?
Well, I work with Jeremiah 36 a lot. This is where King Jehoiakim shreds the scroll because he thinks he'll get rid of it. And whenever I do that in a local congregation, they read the scroll to Jehoiakim, and I always say in passing, King Jehoiakim was not the last public leader who couldn't read or think. I consider that somewhat ironic.
We'll move quickly on. With regard to poetic creative. What's your favorite? What is your favorite psalm? Or a favorite, if you can't.
Psalm?
Psalm.
73. This is the one that starts out by saying that I was envious of the rich. And then I went to the sanctuary. Then I got jerked around and returned to my sanity. That's sort of how that works. And I understand that that's the reason I have to go to the sanctuary. I have to go to church. I have to go to church so that I don't lose my way in the seductions. And as you know, those marvelous verses at the end, whom have I in heaven but you, and whom do I desire on earth but you. And that's a really recurring dramatic performance for me. Yeah.
Favorite verse of poetry?
Oh, I don't know. I like Wendell Berry so much, and particularly the mad farmer about do crazy things and violate rules and upset authority. And
I thought you were channeling Wendell there for a little bit tonight in environmental.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I learned a lot from him about that. So,
a favorite hymn?
Love divine, all loves excelling. I think that starts out at the beginning, and the last verse is, finish then thy new creation. It's eschatology. So it's the whole drama of faith. We sang it a couple Sundays ago in the Episcopal Church where I worship, and the pastor told me it was his favorite hymn too, except that the Episcopal hymnal has only 3 verses. Well, it's because their Eucharist is so long they got to cut something. But I just think it's such a great narrative lining out of the whole claim of faith that is just extraordinary. I love the great hymns, and I think churches, I don't know, maybe it's not true with your churches, but the kind of churches that I am mostly in, we don't sing the great hymns anymore. We sing kind of ballads and love songs and how will the sparrows say hello and I don't know what. So, you know that one? How will the sparrows say love? Well, it's like this.